this? Did he miss? Junior want to not be on my
Hey, so y'all, let's get into it because we are running a lot over time. Okay. So we wanted to talk about Jimmy Butler and all the drama and debacle that is surrounding him. So quick little the Miami Heat indefinitely suspended Jimmy Butler on Monday. This is his third suspension this season, citing repeated disregard for the team rules and conduct detrimental to the team. Apparently, Butler walked out of practice after being informed that he was moved out of the starting lineup by their coach. Reports suggest that the Heat have been open to trading Butler since December, and Butler has basically expressed the same thing. And the trade deadline is coming up on February 6th. So some decisions need to be made. And I just wanted to acknowledge really quickly. So Butler, he's averaging 17 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.8 assists in 25 games this season. And excuse me. And he stands to lose $532,737 per game under the suspension. So it's like So Sheyla and I have been talking a lot about the news every time we see something with Jimmy Butler, and basically the one thing that me and her always come to is if he does not want to be there, let that man go.
Yeah, he's being held hostage in Miami.
And it's just if y'all don't want him there, I get it. Y'all Jimmy Butler is their star and role player. But it's at one point you don't got. I will ship you away for pennies and figure it out later.
Well, that's the thing. I think the problem is that they don't want to let him go without getting something in return, like something valuable. Because I think other organizations may want him. I think also all of this bad press is also making it harder because as an organization, whether you realize it or not, you're adding this drama into your organization. Do you want that? Is it worth it? No. I think this whole thing of him being mad that you aren't in the starting lineup is kind of well, you already said that you don't want to play for us. So this inconsistency, you're not going to be long-term with us. So why would I put you in my starting lineup to mess up with the boys that are going to be here long-term? Again, this is coming from just the outside looking in. Maybe the Miami Heat organization is doing things, to mess with him, right? It is very grimy. It is very petty. But at the end of the day, it's you already made your decision. We're not going to put you in the starting lineup because you're not going to be with us long term. And it's just bringing unnecessary drama. But I think at the end of the day, if the deadline hits, they're just going to have to let him go, or I don't know. But the money thing doesn't matter. He has enough money that he'll be all right.
And I just wanted to mention really quickly is to your point of this is bad PR for him, because at the end of the day, when it comes to basketball, yes, you work for these different franchises, but you yourself are the product, right? You are basically what's being sold. You're the brand. Exactly. So it's if you are acting like this because you're unhappy and doing all this, and I know this is a terrible way to say it, but it's kind of a suck it up until the final product is able to happen. You know what I'm saying? We all have jobs that we literally hate and we can't stand how they treat us or stuff like that. And we are actively making moves to find different ways to change the circumstances that we are in. But to sit there and say, let's say I'm so mad at my job, and instead of showing up at my job at 10:30 like I'm supposed to, I'm showing up at 1:00 every day. That's a complete disregard. And that is basically making a bad look on me. Because it's when she's not happy, instead of sitting there doing what she has to do until she's able to get out, she's just doing whatever she wants. It's you don't know how to take direction and you think that you could do whatever you want.
So do you think he's going to end up with the Pelicans? Yes or no? Before we move on.
I could see it happening, but I've been seeing a lot of reports of saying a lot of teams are worried about adding him to the roster because of his behavior.
Well, TBD. The last point I want to make, we're not going to get too into it because we don't have a lot of time. But if you haven't been keeping up with the WNBA, you should support women, love them down. And I feel unlike many years before, WNBA free agency has been very slow. Maybe one player moves here or over there. But baby, WNBA free agency has been on go. Every day, it's a new free agent going somewhere. So Jewel Lloyd is going to the Aces. Kelsey Plum is going to the LA Sparks. Alyssa Thomas to the Mercury. Natasha Cloud to the Sun. So as you can see, the list goes on. A lot of people are switching up. So for this new season, 2025 WNBA season, sign up. Like buckle up because it's about to be a ride. I am pro the Liberty. We may or may not be getting somebody, but all I'm saying is Benija Laney better not be a part of any trades. We already lost Kayla Thornton with like the expansion draft. She's gonna go to the equivalent of what the
Warriors.
exactly the Valkyries. So I'm super excited. And if you haven't been watching the WNBA Unrivaled, please start supporting.
And I just want to say, when I saw that they traded Brittany
Griner,
I was like, oh,
because she's been in the same franchise forever.
I know, but she was doing good with them. So I was a little like.
But you know why? Because their main player, Diana Taurasi, who's like the oldest, I feel like WNBA player to still be playing. Reports, she hasn't made it official, but they're saying that she's about to retire. So that is why, like, the Brittany Griner leaving to a new franchise, like the first franchise other than the one that she was traded to or went to when she started playing in the WNBA. People are saying like that's the last clue of like Diana has to be retiring because she wouldn't leave if that wasn't happening. So anyways, tap in.
And the last thing we want to talk about as well is the NBA All-Star. We talked about it last week. We talked about some of the starters and everything like that and how we feel about the current state of the game. But we wanted to talk about the current reserves that have been announced. So let me show y'all really quickly this little list that we have here. So as you can see, these are the starters. Those are the ones that are starred. And then we have the current reserves that were announced. So we have, for the Eastern Conference, we have Damian Lillard, Darius Garland, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Hero, Evan Mobley, and Pascal Siakam. And then for the Western Conference, we have Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Jaren Jackson Jr., I'm about to butcher this man's name. Alperen Sungin, whatever his name is. Sorry, my boy. Jalen Williams and Victor Wembanyama. I know. How can I pronounce Victor
Wembanyama?
And I wanted to talk about this because, we see all these different reserves. And I'm not going to lie, this is a good list. But I feel like a lot of people were snubbed this year.
Who's your snubs? Who do you think got snubbed?
I feel like
Trae Young said he feels.
I believe
he said we should, instead of saying snub, we should call it "You got Trae Young."
You got Trae Young. I do believe like he has been killing it in the assist game, and he has basically been carrying this team without like. Yes, they have good players on the team, but he doesn't have that second person for real.
Who else was snubbed?
I feel like he was snubbed. I like LaMelo Ball. I feel like he was snubbed. I also feel like they got Shea Gildress, right?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I don't think so. Oh, yes, they do. Thank God. Whew, baby.
Girl. I love how she read all the lists and then forgot that she read the name.
But yeah, I feel like Trae Young. I feel like who else do I feel like? I feel like with the Pelicans right now, what's his name? Ugh, their point guard. What's his name?
Did he go to UConn? Is he a young person?
His name is blanking on me, but you know who I'm talking about.
Something Stewart?
No, girl. Oh my God. Anyway, I feel like there's a lot of snubs this year, but I also feel like it's like a hefty list. And when it comes to like the starters and reserves that are announced for the All-Star, somebody's always going to feel like they were left out, or somebody's going to feel like this person shouldn't have gotten it and this person should have. Like, it's always going to be like you're never going to make everybody happy type of vibe.
And I think another element of this that some people may, from the outside looking in, might think like, oh, well, who cares if you don't get this award or this honor? I think correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think other than like the opportunity to say bragging rights, you're an all-star, I think this also comes with like a check, right? When it does come time for you to sign that new contract, you have, a boost to ask for more money because you are an all-star. So it's not just about the name and the the bragging rights about it. Also, you losing money. Like, I'm playing so good and I am being left out.
Yeah,
Like,
like
that's
certain
life.
sponsorships and stuff like that get presented your way.
Mhm.
But before we end the show, I just want to say, let us know who y'all feel like got snubbed, or if you feel like the starters and the reserves were literally like the perfect people that were chosen for this year's All-Star games. Definitely let us know.